Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So today, basically, I'm going to talk about the DNC that's coming up, and I'm going to talk about that Hillary's new running mate. Now, to be fair, I did not know jack shit about the guy when the name was announced, because that's the sad thing about Washington this day and age, is that when there was someone on your state's ballot, let's just say, let's not even go back too far, let's just say early 2000s, okay? You knew who was on the ballot for governor. You knew who was on the ballot for Senate or Congress. And you knew who your state representatives were. So when Tim Kaine was announced as Hillary's running mate, I had no initial reaction at first, because I'm like, I have no idea who this guy even is. But a friend of mine found out that Tim Kaine is a big bank supporter. And also, I also found out through Political that he supports the TPP, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which is and will be a disastrous trade deal. Another one that's already been proven to have, rich people's money, politicians' money, invested in other countries, so they don't have to basically deal with taxes in Washington. Yes, our congressmen do pay taxes, but they don't pay a lot, though. They pay about maybe 2% of taxes. But that's exactly what the TPP is. It's not to compete with Washington, with other countries in the job sector. It's basically so rich people don't have to pay their taxes in Washington. Great, right? No. Anyway, let's go to the story at CNN. Good. Oh, shit. He's speaking as of now. Let's just click there. Yeah, okay. Kaine in Miami. Bienvenidos a todos. Tim Kaine took the stage alongside Hillary Clinton in Miami Saturday.
From morning time to story time, and all the times in between, keeping your child safe is job one. That's why parents choose.
Tim Kaine took the stage along Hillary Clinton in Miami Saturday and offered his first greeting to voters as vice presidential nominee in Spanish. Bienvenidos a todos. The Virginia senator said a phrase that translates to welcome to everyone. Clinton and Kaine's first joint appearance as running mates at a campaign rally here marked the official unveiling of the Democratic ticket. Yeah, and to be honest, I'm not too thrilled of the Democratic ticket. I'm not thrilled with the Republican ticket either, because the Republican ticket has basically a guy who was coddled his whole life, and his running mate is the fuck who caused the AIDS crisis in Indiana. So So the Republican ticket is nothing to be jumping for joy with. And neither is the Democrat ticket, because you have Hillary Clinton and Tim Kaine. Both of them are big bank supporters. Both of them are bought by Goldman Sachs. Both of them support the TPP. Both of them hate Bernie Sanders supporters. So, well, there you go. Both tickets equally suck. Anyway, the duo will face off against Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump and his running mate, Governor of Indiana, Mike Pence. Right off the bat, the contrast that the Clinton campaign will seek to highlight between Kaine and the Republican ticket during the general election was clear. I have news to Hillary Clinton and her supporters who may be watching this. There's no difference. There literally is no difference in Hillary Clinton Kaine 2016 and Donald Trump Pence 2016. There's no difference. Both of them are very corrupt. Both of them could give a shit about you. And if you're a Hillary supporter or Trump supporter, you've been duped into thinking these people actually care about you. They don't. They're in it for themselves. They're in it for themselves. They are definitely in it for themselves, and they made that very clear right from the get-go. Speaking at Florida International University, a campus that is more than half Hispanic, Kaine described his vision for an inclusive country, dipping in and out in Spanish several times. He drew in on experiences as mayor, governor, and the time spent helping Jesuit missionaries in Honduras to emphasize the importance of service. Okay, Tim Kaine. I may not be a politician. I may not have run for any office, but I do know this. Just because you have certain types of credentials doesn't mean that you'll be a good vice president at all. That does not mean that. Correlation does not equal causation. You can add that equation to politics and politicians. So when I see people like this, oh, well, I helped the Jesuit missionaries. You like me now because I helped your religion? I was governor and mayor. You like me now? No. You know what determines that you're a good politician that fights for the people? When your career record is consistent with what you're saying in the election. Like Bernie Sanders, for example. Bernie, your bus person here. And look, let me give you a reality on Bernie Sanders. He's telling the truth when he said he was fighting for gay rights in the 80s when everyone else said that HIV was a gay people disease. In the 1980s, as mayor of Burlington, Vermont, he legalized the first trans pride day parade. One of the first mayors to do that in America, while everyone else was spreading fear and hate towards the gay community because AIDS was spreading amongst people. So did his mayor title have to do with anything of that? No, it's his action that provided the movement that happened because of Bernie Sanders being in the race, is because of his progressive actions that caused people to like him. It wasn't because, oh, I was mayor of Burlington, Vermont, do you like me now? No, it's due to his actions why people like him. This is why Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump are unfavorable by the majority of Americans, because Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump do everything to benefit them, and they do nothing to benefit their constituents. Okay? That's how shit works. When when you're a shitty politician or just a shitty person in general and think, oh, I'll run for president, I'll do this, I'll do that, but I'll be in for myself. I'll make sure, I'll pretend that I'm running for you, but I'm really in it for myself. But when you see people like Bernie Sanders saying, I'm really in it for you. Look, here's what I did as mayor. Ignore the mayor part. Look at the actions of what I did. This is how people like Bernie Sanders. And this is why people don't like Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump, for those reasons. Their actions are not consistent with what they're saying in the election. Anyway, I've always believed that however you serve, what matters is whether you actually deliver the results for people, Kane said. That's been my goal in every position I've ever held. Yeah, that's what I said. And I've said that even before I read that. It goes based on your actions, not your qualifications. Correlation does not equal causation. So, Tim Kaine, I just have a question for you. If your goal is trying to deliver results for the people, why are you running on the ticket with Hillary Clinton? Tell me that. Tell me that. Why are you running on the ticket with Hillary Clinton if you want to do good for the people? If you want to do good for the people, you should have ran for president by yourself. Because if you ran by president by yourself and would have been consistent with your record of your action record, and you were consistent with that and your and your what you would say during the election process, things would have been different. Just saying. Kaine sheepishly acknowledged that he may not be a household name, saying, this might be the first time you've heard of me. Yeah, I could agree with that. But unlike the famous real estate Mongol on the other side of the political aisle, Kaine argued his heart was in the right place. Yeah, that's the other problem. How do I describe this in a way for someone who may be watching that may not understand what I'm talking about or how I'm going to say this? You have two types of people. You have sympathetic people and you have empathetic people. I'm an empathetic person. I have the ability to put my emotions in the place of another human being if they're in times of trouble. Like if I have a friend of mine who's down in the dumps and I ask them what's wrong and they tell me what's wrong, I have the ability to put myself in their position. And I try to help them as best I can. But when you're sympathetic, the problem is that sympathetic people do the following. Oh, I'm sorry you're going through this. I can't imagine what you're going through. Yeah, you can't, because you refuse to put yourself in that situation to try to help people out. That's the problem. Tim Kaine sounds like he wants to be empathetic, but his political career is forcing him to be sympathetic. No. Well, I'll go to Bernie Sanders as another example. Bernie Sanders is a true empathetic politician. He truly understands what people in my age group are going through, because he truly understands that when he was in his 20s, they had the same problems. They have the same problems that we do today, but we have it much worse. We have it much worse. Like when the baby boomers were in their 20s and 30s, they protested for what they wanted to, and they weren't held down by the older generations. But now the millennials, every time we want to protest for something, what happens to us? Stop what you're doing. It's not important. And, well, tough luck. Like what we given you. No, we're not going to settle for that. That's why Bernie Sanders understands the millennials while Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump don't. They really don't. But do you want a trash-talking or bridge-building president? Donald Trump trash talks with folks with disabilities, trash talks Mexican Americans and Latinos, Kane said. With Donald Trump, it's me first. Yeah, and also, may I add, it's also me first with Hillary Clinton. Why do you think her slogan is, I'm with her? Now, I don't like Donald Trump by any means. I don't like him. I don't like him on a boat. I don't like him on a plane. I don't like him in a magazine. I don't like Donald Trump with my green eggs and ham. But even though I don't like Donald Trump, he did say something that Bernie Sanders said during the campaign that resounds with a lot of people. You're not with me. I'm with you. Okay? That's what Hillary has to run on if she wants to win the election. You're not with me. I'm with you. I'm for you. This is why Donald Trump's appeal is getting more popular, because he's spouting that rhetoric that people want to hear from politicians or from people running for Senate or president position. I'm with you. You're not in it for me. I'm in it for you. Yes, he is a trash-talking person. He is an asshole that way. But he's spouting a rhetoric that his supporters like. While Hillary Clinton is saying, you're with me. You're in it for me. How you... do a little self-evaluation here. What sounds better? I'm in it for you, or you're in it for me? Seriously, think about it. It isn't that hard of a result to come up with. Then, riffing with the crowd, he added, you're right. He doesn't trash talk everybody. He likes Vladimir Putin. Yes. And I find it problematic that he does support Vladimir Putin. But yet, Hillary Clinton gets her money from the Middle East. Her friend is Henry Kissinger. Do I need to say more? Henry Kissinger made a deal with Saudi Arabia in the 1980s to allow green rooms. So basically, radical terrorists could rape all the women they wanted to in these rooms. Yeah. So Hillary and Trump are both bad in the foreign policy department. Anyway, I'm going to copy this and put it in the description box down below because I want you to see for yourself that this election, both people are not the shiniest of two turds. And I really mean that. I really mean that. During 2012, Obama was clearly better than Mitt Romney. That was obvious. But Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, they're not the shiniest of two turds. They're both very flawed human beings, and they're both very flawed politicians. They really are. They don't know how to connect to young people. They only know how to connect with people who think like them. And that's not going to do good because the young people outnumber the baby boomers, and the young people like Gary Johnson, Bernie Sanders, Jill Stein, and so on. We don't like the two that are being presented to us. We like the third-party options. We like the third-party options. We don't like the two that are being presented to us because we find them very flawed and very dangerous. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. See ya.